Hey folks, it's Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin, and this is a show that you, the viewers, well, people on Twitter voted for. Worst matches I've seen. This is not exclusive to WWE, WCW, ECW, TNA, NWA, AWA. AWA could have some bad matches later in their run. Nor is this exclusive. This is not just exclusive to an era. This is all matches. It doesn't matter what the circumstances were, why they were bad. I mean, now granted, okay, if a wrestler was way, like, in bad health, and I'm not talking, like, just age. Like, there was a match that Dr. Death Steve Williams had in 2009 where he barely could move because he was battling cancer. I'm not going to include matches like that. I'm going to include matches that were just downright awful, that were downright terrible, that deserve their score. And this is not ranked in particular. These are just because ranking worst matches and factoring all the circumstances and everything in would just take too long and I would lose my mind. Not that I have much left up here anyway after 5 concussions. But anyway, we start off with Orlando Jordan versus The Ultimate Warrior, 2008. New wrestling, evolution, explosion, whatever. I don't remember what it is. NU Wrestling. It was based in Spain and Italy, I believe. It was one of the two countries. I always get it confused. I know that Rikishi had a stake in it. Chris Masters wrestled there, and a lot of former WWE talents wrestled there. I think even Mr. Candy wrestled there at one point. I'm not sure on Mr. Candy, but I know that Chris Masters talked about it. And Rikishi, I remember, did stuff like that. So anyway, this was when Orlando Jordan was their world champion, which it was amazing a company could survive that because Orlando Jordan is not world champion material. He's barely mid-card champion material. That's why he was on my worst U.S. champions list ever. Cheap plug because I did the top best and worst U.S. champions on my timeline here on YouTube. But he was going to face Ultimate Warrior coming out of retirement, who was coming out of retirement after almost 10 years. I think the last time Ultimate Warrior wrestled was October of 98. I think this was in the summer of 98. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that. But I've seen the match a couple times. I actually just watched it this morning just for a refresher course. Like, okay, hey, how bad was it? Oh dear. I mean, Orlando Jordan got his big entrance, glitter and stuff like that, and a woman that looked like Ann Coulter, about 20 years younger, but still with a massive horse face. And really, in a really fake chest. And didn't look like she could move at all for fear she would fall out of her outfit. And then you had Ultimate Warrior come down, jogging more than anything, but he was almost 50, so that's really not shocking. But then again, I mean, really all the Ultimate Warrior ever had was his entrance, weird tassels and face paint, and promos that maybe you understood 30% of what he said on a good day and 5% on a bad day, and you understood negative 5% most days. Ultimate Warrior runs down. The ropes were really loose, so whenever Warrior shook the ropes, they did this. They weeble wobbled, but they wouldn't fall down. Warrior did fall down a lot. But he gets in the ring one morning, shakes the ropes, stumbles around the ring, barely walks around, shakes the ropes more, gets in the ring, shakes the ropes, and pyro goes off around 3 parts of the ring. And I'm like, okay, they must have blown half their budget. They had what looked like a 5,000 seat, maybe 6,000 seat arena or event center or whatever they have over there. So it looked pretty full. I mean, there were some empty seats, obviously, but in some shots, but still they had a pretty big crowd. So obviously the promotion was doing pretty well. Maybe Warrior's return had partly to do with them having a bigger crowd. And Warrior's kids, and I don't remember his children's names, but his wife was there. His children helped take off his jacket. He was talking to them a little bit. And Orlando Jordan, to his credit, now is obviously scripted, but made sure the kids got out of the ring first before attacking Warrior from behind. And the match from there was just unwatchable. Warrior did hit a top rope splash. Orlando Jordan had to dumb down a lot of his offense, even though most of his offense was always dumb because Orlando Jordan looked dumb hair, dumb wrestling ability, couldn't really do anything, was a weird guy. Not necessarily a bad guy or anything, just, I mean, his time in wrestling, does anybody really remember it fondly? I sure don't. I don't think a lot of people do. But Orlando Jordan, like I said, they're world champion, and Warrior comes in and apparently got paid pretty lavish, or got paid a pretty lavish amount. Got lavish, accommodations. He was like over there for a couple weeks, and all he was doing was training. He was not out on the tour with them. This is according to an interview with Chris Masters, where he even said that he was going to help some of the young talent. Warrior said that, and he never really did. He came in, faced Orlando Jordan, ended up beating him for the title, and then relinquishing the title immediately afterwards, which I guess led to a tournament. I didn't pay attention to the stuff afterwards. I don't care about this promotion. I wish him the best, and I hope the promotion's still going. If it's not, I wouldn't be surprised, because it's really hard to keep a promotion going. But Ultimate Warrior even said in promo at the end after the match, which it ended stupidly. It ended with like a clothesline or a lame shoulder block, and it's like 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, I could understand him ending with the splash. I could understand him maybe ending with a gorilla press slam or just a power slam. But he ends with a shoulder block, and a lame shoulder block, and that didn't even look like it would knock. It looked like you could knock Orlando Jordan over with a feather. Hell, you probably could have knocked Warrior over with just the thought of hitting him with a feather, with how he moved. But then Warrior basically said that Orlando Jordan would go on to be one of the greats in the business. That proved that maybe he was putting steroids into his brain. I don't know where he got that idea. Maybe it's his idea to put over the talent that way. It was stupid. It was just awful. I encourage you guys to watch it, especially if you're a longtime fan. But if you do watch it, just know that you're going to be it's horrible. It's a horrible match. It's just bad to watch. And now we go to Hogan versus Oh Hello Warrior. It is good to see you again. It is Hogan versus the Warrior, Halloween Havoc 98. I covered this before, and oh dear. Oh dear. Could this match have gone any worse? I mean, they paid Warrior quite a bit of money. I mean, at least $1 million to $1.5 million, possibly $2 million. I don't know what they paid him. It had to have been a hefty sum, and I hope it was, because it just proves that WCW is trying everything to compete with Vince. And they were bringing guys in. They only brought Warrior in there for Hogan to get his win back. And it was bad. I mean, their match at Mania 6 was lightning in a bottle. You cannot recapture that magic. Especially with two guys that really didn't care. And I'm sorry, I don't care what people say about Warrior. If he took his wrestling half as seriously as he took his character, then he might have actually been one of the greats in the ring, instead of, and I'm just going to call Warrior a flash in the pan. Sure, he had people that he influenced. He had a lot of children that he influenced. I was a Warrior fan as a kid. Till about 92. Once he came back in 96, the bloom was off the rose. I was 15 at that point, and I saw through it. And when he went to WCW, my God, I was even more mortified, because his work had gotten even worse. Now, to be fair, he made his money. Hey, he made his money, and he got out of the business at the age that he did, and only wrestled the times he wanted to. So, okay, smart by him. But this match proved that Warrior just never cared enough about his work to improve. And not that Hogan was a great worker either, but Hogan could have a good match with somebody if given the chance, and if like that person was willing to invest. But I mean, this match, it was overbooked to crap. You had the fireball where Hogan burned off his eyebrows and part of his mustache and everything because of the flash paper, and the thing botched and whatever. And I mean, it's like he was gonna throw a fireball at him. It's like, I believe it was on, I forget what it was. I think it was What Culture. It was What Culture Wrestling, but it's like somebody said, it's like one old man's gonna Hadouken another old man. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty accurate. I mean, it was horrible. It was like, or Yoga Flame. They were gonna be like Dalsim and blow fire. And it was just, God, it was bad. It's like, you watch that, they overbook it like crazy. NWO members come down, and I think it was Horace Hogan, if I remember right, cracks Warrior in the back with a chair. It's a horrible chair shot, by the way. And Hogan gets the win. Like, literally after the chair shot. Like, after all that hype and after all that, not that the match was going that well anyway, Hogan gets the win after a chair shot to the back. And then Warrior cuts a promo talking about, like on Nitro the next night, I think. Or the night after. I think it might have been the next night or the week after. talking about the BS pinfall and that I still got I still, you never beat me, Hogan. And that never went anywhere. But yeah, Hogan and Warrior, I mean, it's like I covered it a lot, so I'm probably not going to spend as much time on it, but because I did my WCW retrospective series and Times of Wrestling that pissed me off, I did it on a lot of stuff. And yeah, Hogan versus Warrior was just god awful from bell to bell. Halloween Havoc 1998 was not a bad pay-per-view in parts, but this match, it should have only gone on about 10 minutes. And I don't know how long it went. If it might only gone on like 14, 15. It felt like it went on 30. It was just a disaster from bell to bell. So that's where I'm going to leave this off at. Do you agree with what I said about these two matches? Do you disagree? What matches do you want to see me talk about that are your least favorite? Leave them in the comments. Leave your Twitter handle. I'll plug your Twitter handle, your YouTube handle, and I'll do that on a separate show. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at the link in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.